Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with Lisa, another cool bee. And today we're just going to be having a easy chat just about business, careers, which I think a lot of you will find helpful as you're entering the workforce. Lisa, would love to hear a little bit about you. What's your spiel?
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. It's going to feel so weird because it feels like I'm going to be talking to myself the whole time. But I really appreciate the opportunity to have a chat. And look, I could talk all day about my career journey, what I'm doing now, but I'll try and just keep it really short. So just give you some idea of where I've come from. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a fashion designer, love making clothes, but having quite conservative Asian parents, they were more wanting me to do something where they felt like I could have maybe a stable career. So sort of gave up on that dream, but ended up studying commerce law at uni and then went on to be a tax lawyer. So that was really not the right career choice for me. I was not passionate about tax whatsoever. So then I ended up working in Witchery. So I made a career change after about 7 years in tax. So I ended up moving to Witchery to work in their marketing team. And the way I was able to do that was in 2011, I started a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle website, which is still going today. And that gave me a taste of digital marketing in the world of the internet, social media, and it was crazy. And it's, I think I look back now and go, wow, that really was the passion that kept me going outside of work because I wasn't enjoying my 9 to 5. So once I finished up at Witchery, I ended up starting my own business called Cody Agency, which is about 5 years old now. So I'm too scared. I'm probably showing my age. I'm really old. But yeah, and then along the way, I've written a couple of books, one on Australian style, one on Australian beauty. I've got a toothpaste, mouthwash, and toothbrush line called, actually it's called 101 Lifestyle. I've got some toothpaste on my desk, which is stocked at Mecca. I've just started a recent new business venture called Listening, which will connect mind mentors and business mentors with mentees all around the world. So that's currently in the build phase. Just got a book deal, so I'm going to be writing a business book soon. So yeah, that's kind of where I am at the moment. And so I would say that I'm definitely someone who likes to keep really busy, and I generally would want to have a million things on at once. I don't really do well just focusing on one thing, which is probably a bad thing because I probably don't, I say I don't achieve things, but I am very distracted very easily. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
It's a lot of you in a nutshell. I love it. So many things going on at once. I'm actually really curious to hear, you said that your parents, Asian parents, I've been there myself. Like I went into pharmacy, hated that, and then moved into teaching full time. But I'm curious to know, what was your parents' reactions? You're so successful now and doing all these amazing things. What is it like now compared to then, when I guess you were first starting to move away from the tax law side of things?
Firstly, thank you so much. Like, I definitely, for your kind words, I don't feel successful at all. I just feel like someone who's just a regular person who gets the chance to do something they love every day with people that they love. So I don't see myself as anyone special or anything. And to be honest with you, I don't think my parents even know what I do. I don't think they really understand social media. I don't think they really necessarily can even probably believe that I'm doing what I'm doing. So I think they just are still nervous for me because they're very conservative. They really want the best for my brother and I, and he's he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. So he's really book smart. So he is like, honestly, like the way his brain works is crazy, and mine does not work like that at all. But we're so different, and I feel like they really understand the career path that he took. So he works in a big global management consulting company. He did his MBA in Chicago. So that's a really traditional career path for, say, like people of Asian descent. I'm just going to stereotype there. But my career path, I think my parents are just like, what are you doing? And I maybe They probably think that one day I'm going to go back to working in tax. I have no idea.
Ah,
But, I do know that they're happy for me because they can see that I'm really happy. And I wasn't like that in my 9 to 5 when I was working in tax. In fact, I was probably a really bad person to be around because I was so, I don't know, just, when you don't enjoy what you do, like it, I guess, filters into the rest of your life and you feel really down because it's such a huge part of your day, a huge part of your week, a huge part of your life. So if you're not enjoying that, then I just don't think you're going to be a very happy person.
definitely. I guess like when you're spending 9 to 5 at one place, afterwards you feel quite flat, you're not wanting to talk with people necessarily. And I feel like it becomes a part of your day to day where you don't even realize that you're feeling that way because that's just become the norm. That's something that I've also experienced as well. So, really resonating with what you're saying.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't relate, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, did your parents, like, I know with my parents, at first they didn't really understand what I was doing. So I moved into like private tutoring and then creating study guides for students. And, there was a lot of doubt and uncertainty, like what we said with your parents. But I think once they started to see more of the traction, like more of the physical products or things like that, it sort of started to click with them a bit more. So, like, what has it been like on your end? Or is it still like, nah, still don't really get it?
I just think they don't really get it, to be honest, but they're really supportive. So
Mm,
even like recently, I ran for Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne. I just think they were just like, "What are you doing?" I'm not really sure, but they volunteered to go when they were counting the votes. Like they went to go and volunteer to be scrutineers to watch the counting to make sure it was all okay. So I like they're really supportive, even though they don't really, I think, get what I do, which I really appreciate
mm,
because I think it'd be really easy for them to just go, I don't understand, I'm not going to support it. But,
mm,
I think ultimately they want me to be happy. And, when I was working in tax, I wasn't very, I guess, invested or even aware of the importance of mental health. It was something that
mm,
wasn't really even spoken about. So I didn't realize how, I guess, almost like depressed I was and how down I was. So
mm,
I think now I'm a lot more focused on mental health and I'm a lot more focused on being mentally strong and recognizing signs of, say, for example, if I'm going down a path where I'm going to be stressed out or I'm going to feel anxious, like I know those triggers and I know the things that I need to stop doing or the people that I need to move away from because it's not good for mental health.
mm.
So I definitely feel stronger since I've been able to invest in that space. But yeah, back then I wasn't really I sort of knew what I wanted to do to some degree, but I
Mm.
wasn't necessarily focused on what I should do to get there for a long time.
Ah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And as you've been going throughout this journey, I'm sure, like as an entrepreneurial person, like it can be quite challenging sometimes, and perhaps even isolating because you're doing sort of your own thing. So, what have been like the biggest challenges so far? I know that's such a big, sweeping question, but anything that kind of comes to mind?
Look, it can definitely be a lonely journey. So you have to surround yourself with people who will lift you up when you're down and who will be there to celebrate the wins, big and small. So
Mm,
that's definitely something that I've found over time. And look, along my journey, I have been around people who haven't probably, like, I don't think they've held me back, but they probably haven't helped me reach my full potential. So once you can, I guess, extract yourself from those situations or move
mm,
away from those people, you can really become the person that you can be. But I mean, look, a lot of the time, a lot of the limiting behaviors and the limiting thoughts are just in our own mind. So,
yeah.
because I mean, no matter who you're around, if you're strong enough in your belief in yourself, you will be able to overcome anything and you will be able to overcome that fear of not being good enough or a fear of worrying about what other people think. So I've definitely been fortunate in the fact that I feel like I can do anything I want to do. And I think that's probably just evolved over time. I don't think I've always been necessarily like that. So
Mm,
that's really helped me get to where I am because honestly, being a business owner is really hard and it's not glamorous at all. If you saw me last night in my PJs on the couch eating, a mango at 10:30 at night trying to finish a presentation that I've got to present today, that's actually the reality. Whereas I think people see the glory. They see when you might sell your business or you get investment or, you're on a rich list or something. So those things I think people see in isolation and go, oh, that looks amazing. That looks like so much fun. But in reality, there's so much hard work. And, there have been times where I've thought, oh my God, is my business even going to survive? Like, during the past 8 months during Corona, there were a couple of times where I just thought, oh my God, I don't even know if we're going to make it through this. I don't know what's going to happen. So you will get constantly, faced with challenges. I always liken running a business to being in the ocean. Like you can never fully relax. Like there's always going to be waves that come that are trying to knock you over, whether it's competitors, whether it's new changes to algorithms, say for in digital marketing, or challenges with cash flow. So you can never actually fully relax, which is probably suited to my personality, but it also means that you're at risk of burning out because even if you're supposed to be on holiday, you're probably still thinking about business. So if you want to do it, you have to really, really enjoy it because otherwise it's going to be really hard. And a lot of people won't have that resilience to keep going when the knocks come and when you fall down. So I hope does that sort of summarize some of the challenges?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you went above and beyond. I've never heard of this like ocean analogy before. It makes a lot of sense though. And yeah, like you were saying how you need to have like the right people around you. And sometimes you don't have the right people around you. How did you find the right people? I think that's one challenge that I'm having at the moment.
Yes, that's actually a really good point. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's so hard because sometimes you don't know if you have the wrong people around you until you meet the right people. So for me, I feel really fortunate because I'm in a position where I get to meet a lot of people. So I'm constantly doing business development for my job. So I get to meet incredible, interesting, talented people on a daily basis, which I feel really fortunate about. I've always been attracted to people who are passionate about what they do because I love what I do. And so that passion I feel is almost contagious. So I'm definitely a glass half full and optimist. Like I'm very much like looking on the bright side of life, probably for, I guess for better or for worse, that's just the way I'm wired. So I don't like being around people who are negative. I really feel like, that really does affect me in a negative way. So I guess for me, I really try and put myself out there to meet as many people as possible. And that's not always hard because I have struggled with social anxiety in the past because I'm naturally an introvert. So I'd much rather be sitting at home with my partner, with our dog, just, either going for a walk or just eating takeaway or something. And that's really probably where I feel most comfortable and I feel uncomfortable in social situations. So it's been a real challenge for me to try and put myself out there consistently to get the opportunity to meet new people. But I would say that I'm not someone who's afraid of rejection. So if I see someone, say, for example, on social media or, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, and I do want to meet them and I feel like there's a connection or I have a potential to learn from them, I'll just reach out. And look, more often than not, someone won't get back to me. But then you have these people that do get back to you and they could potentially change your life. So, I look at one of my business partners and I reached out to him on LinkedIn. I didn't actually really even know who he was at the time. And that's how I got investment into my business. And it was like incredible because when I got to meet him, he was like so different to anyone else in my life. Like he's super direct. He's just like no bullshit, just got straight to the point. Like, what are your numbers? What are what's your revenue? What's your margin? And I was like, oh my God, who is this person? And I didn't even think I would like him, but he's turned out to be an incredible influence in my business life. So we're now doing a new business together. We do a podcast together, and he's someone that definitely pushes me out of my comfort zone for sure. So I think being around people like that can be really helpful, but also people who, for me, I really like being around people who are other business owners because they'll understand the like the ups and the downs of running a business. So one of my good friends, Mia, she's been running a business called Moxie for 15 years, and she will be there if I say, oh my God, this annoying thing happened with a competitor or something. She's like, I totally get it. And she'll be there to make me feel better. So, having the right people around you is super important. And that's actually one of the reasons why Nick, my business partner, and I wanted to create Listnik, which is our new platform that connects mentees with mentors. Because really, when you're trying to further your career or start your own business, there are so many mistakes that you make along the way, and you still, like, you just never stop making mistakes. That's just the thing that is just life. Like, you will always make mistakes, but you can avoid actually a lot of those mistakes by having the right mentors around you. So I feel like that's actually one of the best investments you can make, investing in someone who can be guiding you and who's invested in your journey and who actually cares about you and who's actually walked those steps before and can share those learnings. Like, you will avoid making so many mistakes that, could cost you time, can cost you energy, can cost you effort. And that's really invaluable because you can get to where you want to go faster.
Yeah. And on that note, like, how do you know if a mentor is right for you?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. So it really comes from firstly having that connection. So if you are not invested and don't feel like there's, I guess, some sort of connection that makes you want to learn from that person, or that you respect, and it's not going to work, because you ultimately, like, you don't need to take every single piece of advice that they tell you, but mentors can quickly become disengaged if they keep giving you advice and you don't take it. And, I think that a lot of people go into the relationship and they've got a big ego and they think, well, I kind of know everything, so I don't necessarily want to listen to everything this person's saying. So I think you need to really go into it. Say if you're a mentee, you have to go into it knowing that, yes, you don't know everything and there's lots you can learn. So you need to find the right people who are going to definitely be able to teach you those things. So ideally, someone who has worked in the industry that you're trying to get mentored in is going to be probably more useful, because they're going to have industry relevant experience that you probably will be able to benefit from. Definitely someone, I believe, like, I don't know, I think for me, mentors are really important because they push you out of your comfort zone. So you're going to need to find someone who will make you feel, I guess, comfortable with being uncomfortable. And the best mentors will push you out of your comfort zone, but will also be there to catch you if you fall and help you get back up again and keep going. So there's no point having a mentor who's not going to push you, because you're not going to learn. And if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not learning. So you really do need someone who will be able to sense that, yes, there could be some resistance because you're feeling nervous about doing something, but they'll know when is the right time to push you and when's the right time to sort of just sit back and give you a bit more time to get ready to take that next step.
Very helpful advice. Thank you. That's something I'm going to move forward with. I've always found it quite challenging, like, just thinking about where to find mentors and who would be the right fit as well. So definitely keen for your platform to come out and hop onto it.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, you do not seem like an introvert. Just seeing you on social media and all the things you do, you seem like just such a bubbly, outgoing person. So it's actually quite surprising to hear that. But also very cool to see that you put yourself out there and, have that side of you.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I think a lot of people think I'm not an introvert, and it's funny because when I'm recording my videos, for example, I'm literally talking to my phone. So there's no one else in the room other than my dog. So it's kind of funny for me to think that people feel like I can, I guess, that people think I'm extroverted. I'm definitely not. But I actually just did a video on LinkedIn this morning, and I was talking about fear and overcoming your fears, because I have, and I still do to some degree, I have a fear of public speaking. But I was listening to this great podcast by Jim Quick, who's amazing. Like, he's an amazing motivation speaker, and he's really great with training your brain to, say, read faster and, like, remember everything. So he was talking about taking small, simple steps And that's how you can work on overcoming your fears, because he was saying that you're born with only two fears, and that's the fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds. But all the other fears that we have, whether they're rational or not, are all learned. So that means you can actually unlearn them. So what he was saying is you can take these small, simple steps to overcome any challenges that you're facing. So for me, public speaking is always something that I've been really fearful of. So towards the end of last year, I just thought, okay, I'm going to start taking some small, simple steps to overcome this fear. And there were just little things like saying yes before I could say no to public speaking opportunities. It would be practicing doing these videos pretty much every day so I could get better at actually presenting. Because when you actually watch yourself back, which I'm sure that you might have done with your video, sometimes it's so uncomfortable and you think, oh my God, I look like an idiot. I sound like an idiot. I'm so boring. I have all these weird speech quirks. Why is anyone even listening to me? And it's really easy to get really critical of yourself. So you almost need to look at yourself from like almost an independent third party perspective and go, what would I say to this person if I was just looking at their content? And for me, like a big part of it was that I sounded really boring. So like if I was bored by listening to myself, other people are definitely going to be bored. So I really focused on trying to present better. So be a lot more engaging when I talk. So have more information in my voice, use my hands more rather than just sit there. So just by actually doing these small little steps regularly, you can practice and overcome your fears. Because say, for example, if you realize, okay, I'm getting better at presenting, then when you actually get a public speaking opportunity, then you're thinking, okay, actually, I can actually go and present and it won't be as bad because I've been consistently practicing that. So I think a lot of people are too scared to overcome their fears and too scared and almost intimidated to try and overcome them. And to be honest with you, someone said to me, before I started working on my fear of public speaking, go and speak in front of a room of 1,000 people and that's how you're going to overcome your fear. I'd go, hell to the no way, that's too much. But then I started doing more smaller talks. So I do a talk to say 20 people, and then I do a talk to 150 people, and then I do a webinar. And it's like, then you realize actually you can take these small steps. So when you actually get to that room of 1,000 people, you've taken all these little steps along the way, and you haven't, you might have fallen once or twice, but you've gotten back up again. So you realize, hey, it's actually possible, and you just have to build up to it. But you don't necessarily have to go full bore to try and jump out of a plane to overcome your fears. You can do these little things, which makes it, make you feel like it's a lot more achievable to actually achieve that end goal of getting over what you're fearing and what you're worried about.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of life lessons. I love it.
One thing I'm very bad at still is waffling. Like I just keep talking for ages. So apologies if I way off tangent.
No, I think it's so good, because I think I've been thinking a lot about like negative self-talk and how a lot of the times, even though like we're sort of aware that we do it to ourselves, we're not fully aware. Like it's very hard to have that self-perception. And yeah, that's something I'd love to chat with you more. But I think that, I know that you're busy and that you need to go. But I wanted to...
We'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah, have you do a part 2, especially if you guys want to hear a part 2. I mean, where should people find you? Where can people connect with you?
So I'm on social media a lot, an unhealthy amount. So if you want to check me out, I'm pretty much always on LinkedIn when I'm not working. So you can find me at Lisa Tay. I'm Lisa Tay _ on Instagram, and I'm still working out what the hell TikTok is. But I'm on TikTok at Lisa Tay. So still trying to work out how I can go viral and get TikTok famous, but that will probably take a little bit more time because I can't dance or I can't sing. But yeah, really active on social, and would love to come back and have a chat further. Really loved the opportunity. So thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. Thank you for all the amazing advice. And I'm sure that if the people watching have found it helpful, then I'll ask them to leave a comment so that they can demand a part 2 and we can do this again.
Yes, fingers crossed. Hopefully they weren't too bored.
No, I don't feel like you waffled at all, so that's fine. All right, thanks guys.